when all this came to an end, this whole series on the Holocaust, and it came to an end because one day I woke up and I said, I've got to make a Holocaust picture, which is, it became no longer that visceral sort of feeling that I had to have to make these things. So it became mannered, and I figured that's the end of that. But then you go on to, what do you do next? And you can't paint little still lifes after you've painted, this horror, this barbarism. So I started to looking at my pictures, and there were all these animals in them, and I've used animals throughout my entire art career. And I decided, well, I would start dealing with animals. And then the animals became sort of like soldiers, and they were in phalanxes. And then they became animals, just animals. And then the animals required landscapes for them to live in. And then the landscapes became interesting. So I decided, well, maybe I should animate the landscapes. And eventually that led to cities. And then I said, well, I have to animate cities. How do you animate a static building? And, all these issues. And then, of course, coupled with the aesthetic issues such as movement, multiple perspective points, multiple points of light, simultaneity, where you look at an image and you see the image and what's behind it at the same time. That allows for a feeling of movement. And anyway, all these kinds of issues started pouring into my recent work. And I've done a number, and I like to work in series, so I've done a number of series. And the most recent series, for example, was the Palio in Siena. They have this big horse race where it's a crazy, crazy horse race. And there's a film called Palio, which you should see, and it's full of all these jockeys bribing each other and beating on each other, and horses, flailing. And anyway, it's like a wild scene, but it allows me to deal with movement. It allows me to deal with architecture in this case, and also pattern making and a whole bunch of things. And then one day I looked out my window, and there was the Millbrook Hunt meeting. And the hunt is a fox hunt in the traditional fox hunt sense, meaning the British fox hunt. And all these people, about 45 of them or 50 of them, in their red jackets or black, depending on their status within the hunt, on these horses that are absolutely magnificent. And all these hounds, 50 or 60 hounds, yelping and running around. And I said, my God, it's got all the elements of what I'm interested in. It's got movement, it's got pageantry, it's got patterning, it's got everything. It's it's outdoors, and it's in landscape I know intimately because I've painted it 100 times. To put all that together into a picture would be quite a challenge. And I'm on my 16th right at the moment, and they're all very exciting, and they're majestic in the sense of they're large pictures, and they have all the elements that I'm excited about.